Welcome into the locker room today. We're talking Coosa Christian Conquerors football with head coach Mark O'Brien. Coach, first of all, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for taking time to join me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Coach, last year you guys made the Super 7. You made it to the state championship. Obviously came up just a little short to Leroy, but looking at the end of last season into this year, moving up to Class 2A, why don't you just kind of talk about the offseason, talk about what you guys have been doing to try to get over that little bit of a hump that you just seemed to fall just a little short of last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's business as usual. We haven't changed what we've done since I've been here, and this is year 5. So we work out year round. We've got a great speeding conditioning program. We do that. The biggest thing I think we do here is feed these kids 3 meals a day here. As we're sitting in our cafeteria, this is the football cafeteria, and so I built this year, and so we house everything inside of here, and I think that's the biggest contributing factor because it helps put good weight on them.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you guys have done some 7-on-7s this summer. You hosted one that seen Mortimer, Jordan, and Welborn. I know we're at it. So just talk a little bit about the competition that you guys did this summer to just kind of try to see where you were at.
Yeah, we most of our competition came from the 5A, 6A, 7A level. I just felt like athletically that would give us a great challenge. And so we did a few of them. I think we did 3 maybe. And I thought we performed very well in all 3. It tells me one good thing, that we're athletic, but you still got to be able to block those guys up front when you put pads on, and that's what really matters.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you got John David Justice coming back at quarterback. He's going to be a big player for you, big leader on your offense. Your son's coming back at middle linebacker or at linebacker. He's a big-time player for you defensively and a leader. But outside of, everybody knows about JD and everybody knows about Cleet, but talk about the other guys around them.
There's just too many to name. I mean, I'm not even going to begin to name them. You name 2 of them. I'm not going to name any more, but we're just blessed to have a bunch of really good football players, and a lot of them are, our junior class is bigger than our upcoming senior class. So, and we got some really good talent. We got several of these kids that's going to go probably play on Saturdays, and they've got great work ethic. They've got a great attitude, and hopefully we can stay injury-free. And if we can, I think we can make some noise.
Coach, you're in 2A Region 6, moving up to 2A because of competitive balancing. You got Cleveland, a school you used to be the head coach at. You've got, obviously, West End, Falkville, going to be kind of more towards the Blount County area. So just kind of assess your thoughts on 2A Region 6.
I don't know a lot about that area other than I coached there, and it was, 13, 14 years ago. I love that county. Those people are they are Americana. And so I love those people in that county, and especially the Cleveland community. Those people were just so generous and just wonderful people. And everybody that ever dealt with in that county is just good people. But as far as the football side, I really don't know a lot about any of these teams. I've not seen any tape. We went to Southeastern and watched their spring game, so I saw them live. But other than that, I haven't seen any of those guys, and since I left Cleveland back in 9 or 10 or whatever year it was.
Coach, you opened the season up on the road in Georgia, playing Pierce County. He's won 2 state championships now under Coach Herron. Obviously, you look at Fife, Pell City, and Tuscaloosa Academy. Arguably one of the toughest non-region schedules out of any team in any classification in the state of Alabama. You don't back down from competition, so talk about how all 4 of those games came about.
We struggled getting teams, but even if we wasn't going to struggle getting teams, I always schedule up. I just think like non-region to me is where those non-region games should make you better for the playoffs. That's just kind of so I break the season down into 2 seasons. You got region season, you got non-region season. And I'm going to use the non-region season to try to make us better. And there's some drawbacks to that, right? Because the better the competition, the chance of injury goes up. So there's a risk right there, and I understand that risk. But if you can come out of that thing injury-free, I think you have a better shot in the playoffs because you're so prepared because you've played such high-level competition.
Yeah. Coach, you've got some young coaches. Any additions to the coaching staff this offseason, or pretty much the same from a year ago?
I mean, all of them are the same. We've gained a couple. Biggest thing is we started a junior high program, and so we had to build another staff for the junior high. So we finally separated the 2, where we were 7 through 12 on the varsity, now we're really 10, 11, 12 with a couple of ninth graders. And then there's 7, 8, 9 on the junior high. So that's the biggest thing, and we added a whole staff on that. And then I think I may have added a coach on the varsity staff, running back coach. So that's about it. Yeah, it's pretty much all the same though.
Yeah. Coach, you got a new Jumbotron coming up. You guys have seemed to make additions each year that you've been here. You've got some really nice facilities for, now 2A program because of competitive balancing, but really a 1A program. So just talk about the community support that you've seen, especially since you guys have really turned this ship around and started winning a lot of football games.
The community, it's the weirdest thing because it's a typical, like most private schools doesn't have communities, right? They've got, people that went to school there, right? And so as far as a geographic area, we don't really have that. And that's one of the drawbacks of a private school because a lot of those people that own businesses in the city, there's no attachment there. But as far as the alumni, they're coming out, and I felt like we've had really good support, especially last year. And hopefully we'll have really good support again this year as we play in 2A football. But the community, it's just odd because you just don't have really community. It's more of alumni support, and because there's so many schools in Etowah County, so it's so dispersed all across the board.
Coach, I know it's football, so I'm going to ask you a couple it's not really non-football, but it's not related to the day-to-day. So walk me through a Friday. What is a Friday like for Marco Bryant the second he wakes up?
Well, Friday's going to look just like a Monday, just like a Sunday, just like a Saturday. I do everything the same way every day. But I set my alarm at 6:45. But see, we stay in hotel rooms on Thursday night. So typically we'll wake up at 6 o'clock on Friday at the hotel. We stay in Jacksonville. And then we'll do like a 20-minute walkthrough. And then we will have breakfast there. Breakfast is provided at the hotel. And then we'll bus here. And then the kids will go to school to about 12:30. And then at 12:30, they'll come over to the athletic facility. And then from 12:30 to 1:30, they'll just kind of lounge around, chill, relax. And then we may have some kind of whiteboard time. And then at 3 o'clock or whatnot, 2:45, we'll typically have our pregame. And then that goes to about 3:30, and then we have chapel from about 3:30 to 4. And then at 4 o'clock, we start taping the guys. And then by 5 o'clock, we're getting ready to get ready to go on the field. Because we get off the field at about 6:30, we go on the field at about 5:45. So that's pretty much a Friday for me.
Yeah. Coach, if you weren't a football coach, if you couldn't be a football coach, I know you do stuff outside of the school, but what would your occupation be if you had to pick a different occupation? I know this makes people think, like Jonathan Nick said, he'd probably be a fisherman. He'd probably be out on the water. So for Coach Marco Bryant, if he wasn't coaching football, what's he doing?
Let me think. But can I think about that for a
Yeah,
second?
I'll give you a second to think about that.
As you know, I own some businesses,
Mhm.
but let's just say I don't do that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to choose a completely different occupation
Completely different.
than anything you're doing right now.
Yep. Probably. I would probably. It'd be one of two things. I would go into the missionary field, probably in a third world country that's Muslim dominated, and go do missionary work. I don't want to go into a country that religion is or Christianity is not accepted. I would want to go into a country where Christians are being persecuted and killed. Okay, that would be one, or two. I would probably go into some kind of maybe like some kind of mercenary work, French Foreign Legion, something like that. That's probably what I'd do.
All right, Coach, let Let me ask you. So they used to say Nick Saban used to eat. He had a little Debbie cake every single day. Is there anything that you have every single day?
No. I eat and I drink at the same time, but it does not have to be the same thing. Kickstart should give me some stock because I've bought enough Kickstarts. I drink a lot of those things. But as far as a particular food, no. It's just whatever I feel like eating,
All right, 2 more quick questions.
Yeah.
What's the best thing you did this summer outside of football?
Probably taking our annual baseball trip. That was really fun. Went to Mount Rushmore, which was really cool. Went to the College World Series. Went to a Cardinals game, a Royals game, and a Rockies game. That's really relaxing for me. Most people don't. Most people know me. Know I don't take breaks. I work 7 days a week, so that's the 1 week like I take off, and so I really enjoyed that trip. It was very relaxing. So I would say that's it. Yeah.
Coach, your son Cleet's a senior this year, right? So it's going to be your last year getting to coach your son. I believe your daughter's also a cheerleader, and then you got your daughter's boyfriend who's your quarterback.
Yeah.
So when you look at those three, but especially Cleet and your daughter, just talk about this year. Have you thought about it being the final year, and how special has it been to get to coach your son? How special has it been to get to see your daughter cheer her brother on every single Friday?
Yeah, it's really bittersweet actually. I've not really enjoyed it. I think about it a lot. Matter of fact, on my phone, I still have a picture. Matter of fact, I don't care if they see or not, but like you can see, she's still 5 years old in that picture. So, you just don't want them, and I want them to be their own people, but the selfishness of me I want them to be at that age for a number of years. And I know reality's hitting, that's not happening, and they're going to be seniors. And so I'm kind of like, it's bittersweet. Like, it's the weirdest thing when people would explain to me, I never understood it until you experience it. And you see, dang, man, this is it. Every day that I come to school, my daughter usually runs up and gives me a hug. And Cleet will usually walk up and give me a high five and a hug. And I know this time next year in this conversation, that won't exist. Yeah. And that's kind of a big bummer, really, because I really like my daughter coming up and hugging me and kissing me on the cheek every day. And I ask her every day, how's your day, baby girl? That day's coming to a halt, and that's kind of bittersweet. But I'm also grateful that they've turned out who they are and how they are. And Katie is, dating a quarterback who the quarterback's mom and dad are two of my best friends, and she's the principal and he's the AD at the school, and we own a business together. So we're all, and John David's dad, we're the ones that went on the baseball trip together. So we're so interlocked. But it really is bittersweet. And, I guess you enjoy it, I guess. I don't know if this is enjoyable because I'm really not enjoying it. But I guess you try to enjoy it, or maybe the memories, you look back and you enjoy it. I don't know what that looks like. So I still think about that a lot, actually.
Yeah. Well, Coach, enjoy every second this year. Good luck to you. Mark O'Brien, the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with a couple of his players as we continue on the locker room.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
We're back on the locker room. We're now joined by Coosa Christian Conqueror quarterback John David Justice. John David, let's just start, man. How long have you been playing football?
This will be my 6th year.
All right, so you didn't start playing in youth football. You're a
No,
guy
I
that came
started
out kind of when you got in 7th grade.
Yeah.
All right, so what was it that got you to come out and start playing football?
I mean, it was like our first year having a junior high team in like 4 or 5 years. So my dad wanted me to play, and I kind of wanted to play, and I just ended up liking it from there.
Yeah, so did you automatically start out playing quarterback, or was that – yeah, you started
Yeah, that's where I
quarterback?
started.
All right, well, man, just talk about being the quarterback. Obviously, you're kind of the leader on the offensive side of the ball, the guy that kind of oversees things. So how do you just balance being the quarterback but also kind of holding not only your teammates accountable but holding yourself accountable?
I mean, yeah, it's a big role, but I enjoy doing it, and I'd rather do it than anything else. It's probably one of the most fun things I've ever done, so I enjoy it.
Yeah, talk about Coach O'Brien. What's it like to get to play for Coach O'Brien? Obviously, I know your girlfriend, that's her father, so it's obviously y'all spend a lot of time outside the football field, but what's he like at practice? Is he a loud guy? Is he laid back? And then just talk about the impact he's made on you personally.
Oh, he's loud when he needs to be, but yeah, it's pretty fun, and ever since he's been coaching here, we've just grown so much because we were honestly terrible before he came, and it's just been up since then.
Yeah, talk about the impact he's made on you.
Oh yeah, he's definitely one of my biggest role models in life, and I just enjoy playing for him.
What's something about Marco Bryant that you don't think anybody knows, but that you might know that you can share that ain't something bad, obviously, something positive, but what's something about Marco Bryant that people probably don't know?
Oh, he likes when his socks match.
He likes when his socks match. All right, that's something interesting. JD, last year, obviously, you guys got to the state championship game, but you came up just a little short.
Yeah.
How much has that motivated you this offseason?
Oh yeah, you never really want that feeling. It's probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had, and I just think the whole team realized that it's just terrible, and they don't want to let that happen again. So it's definitely motivating them a lot.
Yeah. For you to lead your team to the 1A state championship game and still not be recognized by prep writers in the state, was that something that also motivated you, or is that something you really hadn't even thought about?
I mean, it's up to them at the end of the day. I don't really care what they think. I know me.
Yeah. Coming into this summer, what's an area that you've said, hey, this is somewhere that I feel like I need to improve at, and how do you feel like you've done in terms of growing in that area?
Oh, definitely be like a more vocal leader. Like I can lead by example, but one of my problems is being like a loud guy, and I think I've worked on that and gotten better.
Yeah. As a team, where do you feel like this team, as the season approaches, where do you feel like you guys still need to grow the most?
Definitely as like a whole, we need to like come together more, and there's some little things like mechanic-wise we need to work on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Talk about who's some underclassmen that are going to be the future for Coosa Christian is going to be really bright because of them.
Probably Maddox Gaines. He's a young guy that's going to have a big role sometimes if one of our linemen needs a break or something. And Halen Palmer, he's a young guy, and he's going to start playing some defense for us, and I think he'll be a real big help.
Yeah. Going back to Coach O'Brien, is there any quote that Coach O'Brien seems to use more than any other quote, or is he kind of mixes it up? You don't really hear him repeat himself too much.
Probably his number one rule, which is please your boss. He says that one a lot.
I want to hear the story behind that one.
Oh, he just anytime you mess up or something and do something wrong, he always says please your boss. That's all you got to do. So.
Yeah. All right, talk about this season. Y'all are moving up from Class 1A to Class 2A. I know it's just, hey, whoever's on the schedule, that's who you're going to play. But for you, you're going to be playing some teams that y'all aren't really familiar with. And so just talk about moving up to Class 2A.
I mean, the schedule is probably going to be a little harder. It definitely is with the non-region games and stuff. We've definitely stepped up from there. But, once we get film, I think we'll know what to expect and stuff like that. But – yeah.
You kind of hinted at. I mean, what do you think Coach is thinking when he puts Pierce County, Georgia, two-time state champs in Georgia? You got 5. I mean, can't even count. And then you got Tuscaloosa Academy and Pell City. I mean, did you look at him and say, Coach, what are you thinking? And were you like, hey, here we go, let's take on this challenge?
I mean, we've done it for 3 years now. I mean, it's only going to make us better. So I'm pretty much used to having a hard schedule with like the non-region teams and stuff.
Yeah. All right, walk me through a Friday. What's a Friday like for you from the moment you wake up to when you take the field? When does the switch flip? Does it flip the second you hit the field, or does it flip the second you wake up?
Probably. So we stay in a hotel that night before, and first thing we do when we wake up, we go do a walkthrough, and it probably clicks right there in the walkthrough. And then after the walkthrough, we go eat breakfast, and we go to school, and we get out about 1:30, and we do another walkthrough. Then we sit and rest, and then eat a pregame meal, and then we get ready to go out on the field.
What's your favorite thing on your pregame meal tray?
Oh, it's always the same thing. It's always pasta.
All right.
That's what Coach O likes us having.
Are you superstitious?
No, I'm not really.
No.
Mm-mm.
So what do you do when you're in the field house about to take the field? Are you a listen to music type of guy? Are you kind of just sitting back like peace? You know, what are you doing right before you take the field?
Sometimes I put like a towel over my head, put my earbuds in, and just sit there and look at the ground and just listen to music and think about what I'm supposed to do.
How much film do you think you watch during the week?
Normally in the season, probably about 4 hours is my weekly average.
I was going to say, is that a day or per week? What's your favorite part about the atmosphere at Coosa Christian on a Friday night?
Oh, I've been here my whole life, and used to be there was no culture. There was really no, there was 50 fans in the stands, but now it's crazy. It's just stepped up big. We got our fans filled out, and Coach Boyd's up there screaming, and everybody's chanting. They got cowbells now. It's crazy.
All right, well, I'm going to ask you a couple non-football questions. I appreciate you answering them. All right, talk me through who's the funniest guy on the team?
That's hard. I'd probably say DJ Mackey. He's funny. He's not really funny, but he don't try to be funny, and it's funny sometimes. And Grayson Malone, he's funny too.
All right. So let me ask, if you had to spend a weekend with one coach, all right, Coach Marco Bryant don't count because you already get to spend a lot of time with him outside football. But if you had to spend a weekend with one coach, who are you choosing?
Besides my brother, I'd probably say Coach A, the offense coordinator.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be on his playlist if y'all are driving down the road?
Oh, I don't even know. White girl music.
All right. If you don't have a football in your hands or you don't have a baseball in your hands, you can't play sports, what are you doing?
Probably fishing.
All right. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Like a 8.5-pound bass, 9 probably.
All right. Where'd you catch that at?
I caught it at my grandmother's pond.
All right. Cool. All right. This is your senior year. If I come back next year and ask them guys, hey, tell me about the legacy that John David Justice left behind, what do you hope they say about you?
I'd hope they say it was good. I hope they say I impacted them in their lives and set an example for them.
All right, John David Justice, the quarterback for the Coosa Christian Conquerors. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Cleto Bryant as we continue on the locker room.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
Welcome back into the locker room. We're now joined by Cleto Bryant, who is a linebacker for the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Cleet, this is your senior year. You've got to play for your dad, so let's just start, man. Why don't you tell me what it's been like for you to get the opportunity to play for your dad?
It's just a blessing. Not a lot of people get to do that, and it just makes you work that much harder when you got something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of working hard, I just pulled you out of the weight room. You got a sweat going. You're over here still trying to catch your breath. Talk about how hard you do go in the weight room, man. Talk about for you, when it comes to getting your reps, how important that is for your success.
That's the only way I'm going to, get better, and it also gets my team better because, they look up to me because I'm one of the leaders of the team. So you always got to give that 100%.
Yeah. For you on the defensive side of the ball, you did get some recognition from people statewide, but you guys came up just a little short to Leroy. How much of a motivation has that been for you over the course of the offseason?
We're kind of past that. We don't don't really looking to pass on that anymore, but it's definitely helped us a lot. Just we've reflected a lot on what we did and what we could have done, and we're just going to work harder this year.
Yeah. Now, Cleet, most people know this, but you're just as good of a baseball player as you are a football player. So talk about balancing both of those sports, because both sports, football and baseball, have been very successful at Coosa Christian. So talk about, I know you did some baseball this summer as well on top of football, so just talk about balancing both sports.
I mean, you just got to do what you got to do. I mean, for me, baseball is probably my route, so I got to work just as hard, if not harder. And you just got to have a good schedule, and then it's all easy.
Yeah. I know it's different with your dad being the coach, but ask JD, what's he like at practice? So walk me through, what's Dad like at practice? Is he a super loud guy? Is he laid back? And then who do you think he's the hardest on the team?
I think he's pretty grumpy during practice. He's probably the hardest on the O-line, I would say, though, because, they need it the most.
Yeah.
I'd say he's hardest on the O-line.
What is something about your dad that people probably don't know? Now, JD told me his socks got a match, but from your perspective, what's something that people probably don't know about him?
I feel like he's kind of a quiet person.
All right.
Most people think, I feel like that, he's just outgunned, but I feel like he's a quiet person.
All right. Talk me through moving up to Class 2A. Obviously, you guys are moving into 2A Region 6, going to be playing a little bit more Blount County teams you aren't familiar with. Your dad obviously scheduled one of the toughest non-region schedules in the state. Just walk me through, kind of moving up to 2A and just how you feel like you guys are in terms of in the mix for it.
I feel like there's no pressure. We know what we got to do. We just got to compete and play ball. I feel like we'll do fine because we play to our standard, not to other people's standards. So we just got to do what we got to do to be successful.
Yeah. Where do you feel like this team still needs to grow the most as the first week gets here?
We just need to love each other a little more, I feel like. That's really all that's left. We just got to love each other a little more. I think the chemistry's there, though.
Yeah. Walk me through a Friday for Cleto Bryant. Walk me through the moment the alarm clock goes off leading up to the game. When does that switch flip for you? Is it the moment you take the field, or is it the second the alarm clock goes off?
It's actually right before pregame, right before we go out. I always take a nap. And whenever I wake up, my mind is just clear. So whenever I walk out on the field, football is the only thing that's on my mind. So I'm just super focused.
Yeah. Are you a guy that likes to listen to music leading up to the moment you take the field, or you kind of like it to be a little more quiet and a little more peaceful?
I listen to anything. I've listened to TV static before, actually. TV static. I was asleep. Put that on a 10-hour loop. 10-hour loop, and I just fell asleep.
Now I know why you be looking like a monster out there hitting people, man, with that TV static. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say they listen to a TV static. I've heard some crazy stuff, but never a TV static. How did you start listening to TV static, and how did that come about?
I think it was round three of the playoffs, and I just wanted to switch it up. I wanted to see what that would, make me think and feel like, and it kind of cleared my mind, actually. So I was actually super focused, and it made me really calm. So.
Does your dad ever text you during the day on Friday, or is it like no talk till we hit the field?
It's some talk in between, but no text.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about, this is a special place on Friday nights. You got community support that's really went up over the years. You're getting a new Jumbotron. What's your favorite part about the atmosphere on a Friday night?
Right before a game, listening to music with my teammates.
All right.
And just all the coaches in the background, and it's sick.
Yeah, they say Coach Boyd, he be beating that drum on a Friday night. So can you hear him that clear when you're on the football field?
Yeah, I actually do hear him sometimes. Yeah, he supports us really well, and I'm very appreciative of that.
All right. Clee, if you didn't have a football in your hands or a baseball in your hand, what are you doing?
It would have been the military, but not anymore. So probably maybe a firefighter or something like that. I don't know.
Is that something you think about doing in the future?
It's an option.
All right. Let me ask you a question. What's it like to have your sister date the quarterback?
It don't bother me. They're good for each other. I don't talk to my sister too much, though. So
I got you.
if she's happy, I'm happy. So.
Yeah. What was the coolest thing you did this summer?
This summer, probably jump off a bridge.
I hope in the water, right?
Yeah, I was in the water.
All right, let's just talk about this is your senior year, man. If I came back and asked the guys behind you to say, hey, tell me about the legacy that Cleto Bryant left behind, what do you hope they say about you?
Just relentless, just always 100%, team player.
practice, just the standard. I just want to leave the standard behind.
All right, Cleet O'Brien, the Coosa Christian Cockers, that's going to do it for us today. We hope you have a great rest of your week, and that'll do it for us today on The Locker Room.